Okay, I want to look at this video here for Nick, Enoc. Nick brought this to my attention, probably because it had this huge pop for 69% on the day. Very cool, but if you take a look at the overall chart and you look back to what I'm seeing here, you can see that, you know, as soon as the stock came, they did like every other IPO. Seems like they flush it down. They did it with BABA, and you go back and look at them all. They do that. They wind up the price, and then boom, it's done. Now, this did find some support here, and it had a pretty good little amount of support here. These are weekly candles, so it had some support here in 08, 09. Ran back up, and then you can see how, boom, came right back down in the same area. Like I said, if you have history, you can look left, and that's how these programs, and that's how these traders, that's how everybody works. They look for an area. It's just like here when this was all in consolidation here. Guess what they were looking at? This. But normally it takes the lower flush, so guess what? It came down here, and then it got real light, and then guess what? It was off to the races. Now it broke through here, and you have to pay attention to this. Even though you had a big, nice up day, that's great, but you still had a lower low. These are lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so I put in a trend line real quick just for a few years just to kind of see, kind of a little sloppy trend line, but I just want to see. And sure enough, it's exactly what I thought. You're not going to catch this unless you're day trading. You're into, you know, 1 hour, 15-minute time windows. But as I do the options, I'm getting away from trying to day trade it. I find that it's tougher to make money day trading the options instead of swing trading them. If I'm in for a little bit longer period of time, you know, with some longer options, I can make some money on those. And even if it runs against me, I have time to add to the position or to bail out on it. If you're in the weeklies or anything like I used to play years ago, that's a tough business, and you can go broke quick. I'm not here to protect my pride. I blew up a couple of accounts before. You know, it's part of paying a tuition and learning. So, anyways, this was just luck. There's no way that you could predict this or get in this. I mean, if you were day trading it and you're on a short time frame, then sure, you could have maybe caught some of it. But keep in mind, that's not what I'm here for. So you can adjust the time frames and look at it. All I'm doing is providing you with some good information on it. And right now, I don't want to get too long in the tooth about this, but to me, to go long on this stock, this would have to develop a little bit of a pattern here amongst this area of support from these two areas. We'd have to come back, test this, get some base to it, and then start to run. Then you could go ahead and get long it. And then especially if you got above this trend line right here with some base and built to it, then, you know, all means get long and strong and go for it. But if this breaks down below this, which, by the way, I'll put an alert here because this is what I'm looking for. If it gets below that area of around $5.13, that's going to alert me, and guess what? Boom. And then once you break this, if you were to break this, I mean, this is kind of a low here at almost $3, you know, $2.92. If you were to break this, you look over here and you see that there's absolutely no man's land. There's nothing. This is back to my same principle that I have on PayPal and some of the other ones that I look to. Once there is no information to go to, it really spooks people out. So this thing, not saying that it will, it could get a bullish scenario and continue, and that would be great for the stock, and it needs it, believe me. But if it breaks below this, below that 5, guess what? It's going to want to test that 3 again for sure. It's 100%. It's going to test it. And if it were to break that 3, you don't know where this thing could go. I mean, this thing could go, I can show you a million charts where everybody thought, oh, $2 is good, $3 is good, and then it goes to 20 cents. So keep in mind, it can always go, how low can it go? 0. It can go to 0. So the risk here is light. Yes, it's cheap, but it can get cheaper. So keep in mind these areas that I put up. I want to see, Enoc. I want to see if they do. No, I'm not even going to look for anything at any options at this point because it's not even worth it to see that. So, all right, that's it. I don't want to get long in the tooth about that. If you got any more questions, shoot them over to me.